Welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from our Frontier. Today I thought I'd just touch on events which have unfolded in the DR Congo. And it's a serious, what I would describe as a plot twist of incredible proportions. So they were meant to release these results at about 11 at night, and I wake up at 4:30 and the release came at around 5 in the morning. And in that release, we learned that Tshisekedi was the winner, second was Martin Fayulu, and third was Emmanuel Shadari. These results obviously ran in contrast to what the church, with up to 40,000 observers, had indicated. At 4:30 a.m., Fayulu addressed the press. He said he was serene, but Seni's announcement was an unacceptable electoral fraud. He urged Senko to reveal to the Congolese people the name of the person who truly incarnated the choice of our people. Tshisekedi declared the winner, Fayulu second, and he said in another interview on Washington Post that I read that a power-sharing deal between Tshisekedi and Shadari had become an open secret. My response is simple: the Congolese people deserve the truth of the ballot, not another backroom arrangement. And then in this Washington Post article, this was also both Tshisekedi and Shadari's only way out. Fayulu's popularity was shooting up. We're now going into a great unknown, said Francesca Bombocco, whose Office of Studies for Research and International Consulting co-conducted the most credible pre-election opinion polling. Fayulu will probably take this to court, but his supporters will go to the streets. The power of the crowd is what the winners should be afraid of. My friend in the Congo, who's cut off from Twitter, but was communicating with me via WhatsApp, says this is electoral witchcraft and Conradian. And of course, a first in Africa where the incumbent loses but selects an opposition candidate. Indeed, that's why I called it a plot twist. Regarding that quotation about going to the street, I go back to one of my favorite quotations, one of my favorite writers, Paul Virilio. The revolutionary contingent attains its ideal form not in the place of production but in the street, where for a moment it stops being a cog in the technical machine and itself becomes a motor, a machine of attack, in other words, a producer of speed. As we know, Seni declared Felix Tshisekedi the winner, Shadari a distant third, but as everybody reported, Catholic bishops told diplomats that Martin Fayulu had clearly won. In fact, they put him at close to 50% or thereabouts. That took me back to my article over the weekend when I was quoting a quote which has been attributed to Stalin, but another chap has corrected me and said it's Napoleon III. I couldn't remember Napoleon III holding an election, but the quote being, it's not the people who vote that count, it's the people who count the votes. Congo friends, did Tshisekedi just win the presidency, or was he merely integrated into the Kabila regime? The coming hours and days will reveal much. VS Naipaul, a bend in the river based in Congo as well. It isn't that there's no right and wrong here, there's no right. And then Thomas M. Wilson of the FT, how Senko and other observation missions react will be vital now. If they back Seni's announcement, then so be it. If not, there will be a long road ahead. Howard French, who will be hosting in March, I think, at Mindspeak, says devilish genius unless or until it backfires. For they, the people of Congo, though, life isn't a game. My piece over the weekend was about why the DR Congo was delaying the election results. I said it's not the people who vote that count, it's the people who count the votes. I was describing how confident Kabila had been, giving exclusive interviews to all and sundry, and quoting Arnold Schwarzenegger's "I'll be back." Maybe he won't, or maybe he will, under an arrangement with Tshisekedi. I was saying that from King Leopold through Mobutu, through the Kabilas, the country has been a place where l'état, c'est moi, applies, and its citizens have had to exist in a world in which Joseph Conrad aptly pronounced as the horror in his book, The Heart of Darkness. And then I was mentioning how, once upon a time it was all about rubber, this far-off, distant place, powering the global economy, and today it's about cobalt and lithium and copper. And essentially, I was saying if that Shadari was going to be imposed on the people, I was calling for intervention, saying there was more rectitude around an intervention such as this than in Iraq or in Syria, in fact. And that, they would this time be greeted as liberators, and rose petals would be thrown at the liberators' feet, which was a Dick Cheney quote from some time ago. So overall, it's an extraordinary, surreal result that's been presented to everybody. And we're going to watch things develop over the next few sessions. Hervé, my friend who's a constitutional lawyer, says, look, this is going to be challenged at the constitutional level. But this was something that one could not have anticipated. And, it's just extraordinary. Let's see how things develop. My final point is, we were talking about Gabon on Al Jazeera, and I was saying, whether it's Gabon, whether it's DR Congo, whether it's Sudan, we're watching a very fluid tipping point moment, and nothing has changed my mind on that quote that I gave Al Jazeera.